Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I have a great video for you. I just became the #1 rated rapid player in South Africa. And I'm going to be taking you over the game that got me there. It's a great game. I played two brilliant moves, 90% accuracy. Chess.com says I played like a 2600. But yeah, let's go over the game. So I started with pawn to e4, the famous king pawns opening. My opponent responded with pawn to c5, of course, the Sicilian defense. And now I played knight f3, hoping for some sort of open Sicilian with d6, d4. But my opponent showed me that he wants to play a closed position with this move, pawn to e6. So yeah, I just continued my development, knight c3. My opponent played pawn to a6, and now I played pawn to a4, stopping the advance of his pawn to b5. So here, my opponent played pawn to b6, to which I responded with bishop c4. I wanted to stop any d5 ideas. So here he played bishop b7, and I just castled. Now he played his queen to c7, and I played pawn to d3. I just want to develop my bishop, maybe to g3, where it will be attacking the queen. So yeah, he played knight c6. I played rook e1, which, looking at it now, is not the best move because the rook is really not doing anything on this open line unless black decides to open it. So instead, black decided to close it down with knight to d4. So I took this knight, pawn takes, and now I played knight to e2, attacking the pawn on e4. So black only has one way to defend this, which is e5. Oh, he could have defended with bishop c5 as well, but e5 looks like a natural way to defend his pawn. And yeah, chess.com says the move I made is a mistake, but I like this move. Apparently, I could have played pawn to c3, which would have just gave me a very, very good center after b takes. I could have just got an amazing center. But instead, I decided to attack the pawn chain from its weakest point, which is this pawn on e5. So that's why I played the move pawn to f4. Now my opponent played d6, which if I take, he's gonna take back. And I do not like this move takes. Even though the computer says it's a good move, I do not like this because once I take, my opponent takes back. Now look, he can develop his bishop, he can develop his knights. So I don't like that. And I think that this pawn on d6 is a thorn in black's position. He can't move his pieces. This bishop is stuck because of this pawn. So I would rather leave the pawn on d6. So instead I played the move rook to f1 and just putting the rook back to the square where it came. But I have a big threat. If black, for example, plays a nothing move, I will simply take, and then I will take on f7 and just be up a queen. So black obviously saw that and played the move knight to f6, which blocks my rook. So here I played knight to g3, and you can see my knight is trying to go to f5. So here my opponent played bishop c8, stopping knight to f5, but here I played knight to h5, hoping for a knight exchange, which my opponent does not accept. But now I have a brilliant move. A brilliant move. So if you guys want to try and find it, pause the video, try and find the brilliant move. But if you just want to enjoy the show, the move I played, bishop takes f7. My opponent was like, what? That's a free bishop, so he took it. And now I played pawn takes e5, and my rook is giving this king a discovered check. So he moved his king back to e8, and it's time for brilliant move number 2, knight takes g7, to which my opponent took this knight, and now I played queen h5 check. You guys can see the king cannot move to these two squares because the rook is covering, and he cannot stay on this square because he's in check. So his only option is to move to a dark square, where I will now just play bishop g5 check, which is almost a checkmate, except for the fact that black can just block. So after he blocked, I just took with the pawn. And here my opponent resigned, taking me to number one in South Africa. A brilliant game. And let's see what would have happened if my opponent decided to move his bishop back. I would now push this pawn forward, check, and if my opponent moved his king, for example, now I will just play bishop f6, trapping the rook in the corner, and it's game over. Good game. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000, so I can get that money. Money. But okay, goodbye.